Facebookers, how you all doing today? Want to do a little thing on what happened yesterday. A little bit of information that obviously I didn't know. Not that I would pay attention to it anyway, really, but do you know what I mean? Me and my partner went out for a little bit of a road trip yesterday. Ended up in McDonald's in Inverness, which is our biggest town. The people that obviously having the McDonald's, because obviously I don't eat McDonald's myself. I don't support the Israeli occupation of Palestine, and as far as my information goes, or the information that I know of, McDonald's is a very big contributor to it. But that's a little point to it. They ordered their food, drive through, went through, parked, everything else. I noticed that the person that was obviously ordering the food said on the receipt that they were being charged the Scottish bag charge. Me being me, went in there, parked up, went into a McDonald's, and asked the employee of McDonald's about the fact that I had been charged, or that the person had been charged for the bag tax. To be told that it is for all bags. My understanding was it was plastic bags for the purpose of, if you were charged 5p a bag, that you would reuse the bags, that, you know, you'd not look after them, but do you know what I'm saying? You'd be responsible, or you'd feel a little bit more responsible if you then just dropped that on the way home, or do you know what I'm saying? Didn't dispose of it properly. To be told that no, it is for paper bags, because any of you obviously that buy McDonald's know that they give you paper bags. To get home to find out, yes, it is paper bags as well, even though the idea is to reuse them. I was going to do a little experiment of obviously using the McDonald's bag on one side and a plastic bag on the other side, and tipping water on both to show that the paper bag that you get from McDonald's is biodegradable. It would turn into pulp, or turn, you know, you could reuse that. They could reuse that. You know, you couldn't, you know, slush down a McDonald's bag and then put it back together again as a plastic bag, or as a paper bag, sorry. But obviously these people are under the impression that, you know, that's what you can do with McDonald's bags. It was more about the audacity, really, or the stones of McDonald's to be charging people, wasn't it, because plastic bags weren't biodegradable? Well, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was because plastic bags, you know, the amount of plastic bags that are dumped in the rivers, across the streets and the oceans, and because they don't disappear. You know, I thought it was a good idea. Charge people 5p a bag. You would then take some responsibility for that bag that you bought. You know, if you paid 5p for it, you know, you'd take responsibility for it. To then be told, no, it can be used for any place that gives you plastic bags, where it doesn't have to be food, it can be shops, garden centres, the lot. But it seems a little bit stupid. You know, yes, Linda, if I agree with you, if it was for plastic bags because it was not biodegradable, I'd not be endorsing it or encouraging it. But you know what I'm saying? I could understand it. You know, I could understand it a little bit better. If you want to charge us 5p so that we take responsibility for the bags. But for McDonald's, a firm that doesn't pay its fair share of taxes, as I already said, is quite happily to support the occupation of the Palestinian land. The fact that their chicken is pink, it looks like Play-Doh, before, you know, obviously it's reheated, cooked, whatever. You know, obviously I have my own personal problems against McDonald's. You know, the reason I use the McDonald's thing is because obviously the bags. I did go into another shop on the industrial estate, obviously where McDonald's in Inverness is located, to see if I could get a photograph of the. We're now introducing the 5p bag tax to obviously get the understanding of whether it was plastic bags or all bags. I had to wait until I got home to find out that it was all bags. So obviously I'm doing this to find out what your view is. Obviously, Linda, you agree, I assume you agree, like I do, that it would be more feasible for plastic bags. I'm not saying that everybody paying 5p for a bag is going to take us out of debt or deficit, because I think you all know by now that's all a lie. I did a bit on the bedroom tax, the benefit cap the other day, and the only answers that I seem to get, or the answer I keep getting, is because the government's trying to save money. Well, here's the hypocritical thing to it. If you live in London, according to this Tory government, or whoever does these fucking figures, you're worth £3,000 a year more than you are anywhere else in the country. Don't take my word for it. Check it out yourself. If you live anywhere but the several boroughs that they call central London, you are only worth £20,000 a year. But if you live in London, you're worth between £23,000 and £25,000 a year for a single person. First of all, I don't like the fact that there's a price tag put on us. I hate that. Any of you that know about the whole birth certificate scam, I agree. I was under the impression it was to help the environment and encourage us to reuse them, as you said. How could you supposed to use it? Well, I did ask the guy in McDonald's. I wasn't going to upload the video that I did yesterday, because obviously once I got back home, I found how much of a kind of fucking idiot I was by believing that it was only plastic. But by the sounds of it, I'm not the only one that thought that. But yes, please do look it up. It's anywhere that sells carrier. It's anywhere that gives you a bag. Do you know what I'm saying? I know this is going to take the piss, and some of you are going to think, oh, I'm trying to be funny, but do you reckon they'll charge you 5p for, do you remember when you used to get penny sweets in a white bag, in a little white paper bag? Do you reckon they'll charge us 5p for that? Because I'll ask the ice cream man the next time I see him, if he's been encouraged to charge us 5p per bag. I wonder why that's why you don't get very many sweets. Hello Eve, how you doing, my darling? I'm just wanting to vent, guys. I'm sorry. I'm very excited, really, about the 5th of November, and I'm just trying to find stories to go through. I don't spend my day trying to piss and moan at everything. I do try and spread love and that, but I just thought, how hypocritical of a government to say, yeah, we're going to charge you 5p a bag, get everybody on board, and then find out that it's not actually for the purposes that you thought it was for. It's just another way for the Scottish government or the British government. It says Scottish bag tax. So before any of you think I'm English, I'm trying to take a dig at the Scottish, it's not. My family live in England. It's not really a topic that comes up. Obviously, do you pay the 5p bag tax? Do you know what I'm saying? It's not really something you sit around the Sunday table and ask. But do you know what I mean? It will be a question I ask, and when I go down over the Christmas period, I will be investigating myself. Because at the end of the day, I haven't got a problem with the population paying 5p for a bag. If, like we said, Linda, it's reusable. I remember back in the days when I was young, my mother had a fucking drawer full of plastic bags. We weren't charged 5p then for a fucking bag, but do you know what I'm saying? You understood the fact that this plastic bag that you carried your shopping home in, could be reused again to save you having to use any more plastic bags. I don't think my mother ever grasped that concept, because like I say, we had drawers fucking packed with them. You know, don't get me wrong, they were good for when you want to take your football down the park or, you know, something like that. But, you know, we're not taught these days, you know, or our children aren't taught these days to do things. I don't want to say it's a fascination, because that would be encouraging towards it, but I have this weird obsession kind of thing, checking out paedophile hunters, like Stinton and the Internet Interceptors, the depravities of our race. And me and my partner were sitting down and talking, and we were saying it's okay to obviously educate the children, or to ask the children, you know, what are you doing online, this, that and the other. But obviously they're not going to tell you the truth, this, that and the other. But, you know, maybe we should be, you know, teaching our children to not only protect themselves online, protect themselves against, you know, the establishment. But how far do you go? You know, I'm one of these people that is fully for freedom of choice, freedom of expression. You know, do your own thing. But when you have children, you know, do you use your, you know, your views, your opinions? Does that, you know, mould the way that you bring up your children, the way you know, conduct yourself around your children? Because obviously we started the video on McDonald's, so obviously I'll tell you other bits and bobs. Do you know what I'm saying? We were in Inverness beginning of last week. My children enjoy Happy Meals, as most children do in this country or around the world. So they wanted to go to McDonald's. I referred to it as a slaughterhouse. There were all negative connotations, and my partner was, as you can imagine, not very happy with the fact that I called it that way. But, you know, we got in a bit of a heated discussion, blah blah blah. You know, it's my opinions, I have the right to voice my opinions. And she was like, well, yeah, you do have the right to voice your opinions, but when it impedes upon our children, it's a little bit different. But the way I see it is, how am I supposed to teach my children that McDonald's is wrong? But, you know, I'm not saying McDonald's is wrong and just leaving it there, right? I'm actually putting some substance to it. You know, how can I say that paying tax is criminal? How can I say that, you know, the acts and legislation aren't law if I'm not allowed to, or have the ability to influence the next generation? You know, because I'm one of these people that wants to build a foundation for the world to be a better place. I think your opinions influence them to a certain extent. I personally give them both sides and let them decide, and tell them to question stuff and research it. Yeah, but obviously my eldest is only 7, so obviously he's very intelligent to start with. But I try and do the same. You know, I know, being, you know, me, and obviously nobody else can obviously vouch for this. You can vouch for it to a certain degree, I suppose, but me being me, I'm very hard-headed. I used to have confrontations with people all the time, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't ever win, or I would never lose, I'd never draw. Do you know what I'm saying? In your own mind, you believe that you win. I'll give you a good example. I was having a conversation with 3 or 4 people yesterday. One of the people during the conversation took a disliking to something. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. And the conversation got round to me wanting to help the Syrians that live on the scheme that we live on. And obviously it was, how are you going to help them, this, that and the other. Well, I'd like for the problems in their home country to stop, so that we can send them back, or even have the opportunity to send them back. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, instead of them being here, because in the ones that I've spoken to, they don't want to be here. You know, they want to be at home. Do you know what I'm saying? Back in Syria, you know, or wherever, you know, they come from on the geographical map, you know, but they don't want to be here. And the bloke, he was like, well, fuck them, let them die, and all this shit. Well, usually I'd have jumped on that like a fucking, you know, like a carrot, but I didn't. I voiced my opinion. I said that I want to help people I don't want to hinder people. I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want people to be influenced or guided, or I don't want people to listen to me. I want you to listen to yourself. You know, I saw a brilliant post yesterday saying, don't believe what I post on Facebook, research it. Because you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at the amount of stuff that I post and you post and everybody else posts that nobody really takes it. You know, that they see that little thing there and then they just scroll past. No, but you need to be careful of the traps that unfortunately you set yourself upon. You know, I unfortunately jumped on the bandwagon of seeing all these, you know, war-torn Syrian children. Everybody remembers the one of the little boy on the beach. The little boy or girl, I think it was a boy, that was in the back of the ambulance. You need to be careful with the emotional heartstrings that are tugged. Because as far as I'm concerned, or as far as my information tells me, the little boy in the ambulance was faked. I don't say faked in the fact they just slapped dirt on his face or fake blood. We were told it was the Syrians or the Russians that did it, and it actually turned out it was the British and the American coalition that destroyed that building and killed that little boy's family or that little girl's family. And then we all jumped on the bandwagon of Assad is evil, Putin is evil. You know, the heartstrings were pulled, and don't get me wrong, I was fallen for it too. Anyone that has children really doesn't want to be seeing pictures of other children across the planet, either members of our own race, being upset and being hurt, being distraught. But I've been speaking to you guys for a while now, and I haven't actually had an opportunity to finish rolling this joint. So, as usual, guys, peace and love. Give me a comment, like Linda has, like Eve has. You know, let me know what you think. Drop me some stories that you wish to get my opinion on. I know many of you don't really want to listen to me speak, but you know, I know there are some of you out there that do enjoy hearing my opinion and having a conversation, because who doesn't like a conversation? So as I say, guys, I'm going to finish this joint. Peace and love.